Welcome back, everyone. Well, I know you've heard me say it a bunch of times. I live in Glens Falls. It's about a 25-minute drive from here. Usually takes me about 3.5 hours if I wander over into Washington County, because it is just so beautiful. The farmland and just the whole sense of the heritage of that region is something that really identifies us. And joining me today are two people involved in an organization that is dedicated to preserving all of this. It's called the Agricultural Stewardship Association. And joining me today is the Executive Director, Teri Ptacek.
God, you got that right.
Got it right, yay. And John Moore. That's easy, John. That was easy. And they're board members of this association. And we invited them on today to make you aware of this organization and two really important events that are coming up that you can participate in to help them in their work. So, Teri, let me start with you.
Sure.
Agricultural Stewardship Association, what is it?
We're a land trust, basically, but what makes us different from other land trusts is that we were started by farmers, local farmers. And they started us because they wanted to always make sure that the land would be there for food and farming for our children and children's children. So it's in perpetuity. Very important, because if you don't have land, you can't have local food. If you don't have local food, you don't have that wonderful array of food, and milk and all sorts of things that come off of the farms from Washington County.
Sure. Now, you know what? That preservation is really twofold. Preserving the farms so they can maintain themselves as businesses is one thing, but it's our landscape.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's what makes these counties so special, is that they're made up of these farms.
Right.
Now, John, you can talk about this from a couple of perspectives. You're a board member of this association, but you're also a farmer.
Yes, sir.
And third generation.
Yes, sir.
That's not unusual, I have a feeling.
Not where I'm from. A lot of those family farms just keep going, and there's some that are 5 and 6 generations that, they're very close to us. But,
wow, that's unbelievable. Now, where's your farm?
We're in Rensselaer County in the town of Schaghticoke.
Got it, okay. Now, how big a farm is this?
680 acres.
Oh, my God.
So that's a little bit larger than a square mile.
And I'm not certain I'm saying this with the proper terminology, but you're a livestock farm, right? And what does that mean?
So we don't do a lot of crop work. All of our livestock is pastured. So we have cattle on pasture, we have rabbits on pasture, chickens and turkeys as well.
I got it. And a lot of that is to supply meat for our communities and even our restaurants, right?
Correct. We supply a few restaurants in your town here, and then we also have quite a strong clientele that comes right to the house, and we operate what we call a freezer trade there. Some people will buy a half a beef from us, or a few rabbits or a chicken, and we have that stuff. And that's how we make our livelihood.
You want to know something I said coming into this about how it's part of our heritage, part of our landscape? You're third generation, so it means your grandfather started this farm. What was it like growing up on a farm?
Well, there's always something to do, that's for sure. You never have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But it can be a lot of fun, and it can be very rewarding if you allow it to be.
Yes.
You just look for that stuff, and it's a lot of long days, especially in the summertime. 14, 15-hour day is, very common.
Not bad.
But, there's also some time to get away. Sometimes you could fish in a little creek or a pond, or hunting. A lot of farmers go hunting in the fall as a form of recreation.
Boy, I'll tell you something. It sounds really remarkable to me. It certainly does. Now, the association has been around for 25 years, right?
Yes, this is our 25th anniversary.
Got it. Okay. Well, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
There were two events coming up that I want to talk about each one. Let's talk about the art show first.
Okay.
Now, that's coming up the weekend of the 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Columbus Day
Friday,
weekend.
Saturday, Sunday, Columbus Day weekend, which is
Right.
coming up. And I've been to this art show, and I've also purchased a piece of art, we come to find out, from this art show. It is spectacular. And it's themed, isn't it?
It is themed. It's mostly landscapes, but it's sometimes it's food, sometimes it's pieces of barn and old implements, but it always has to do with the rural land and farming.
Right. And how many artists are
There's
represented?
47 artists this year.
That's unbelievable.
15 are new, So we've got a lot of new artistic work that's being brought in. And then we have a lot of the, Harry Orlick, George Van Hook, Virginia McNeese, a lot of the ones that have been with us right from the get-go when we started this 14 years ago. So.
And you figure if each one of those artists brings in an average of like 5 pieces, right? What you're saying? So you're talking about over 200 works of art, and I tell you, I've been there. You have to see what this is like. Now, it's in that great barn,
right.
It's somewhere between Greenwich and Cambridge,
yes,
right?
in Coila, right before you get to Coila. It's an old barn. You'll see a lot of signs up. It's not easy to miss.
Right.
And Larry Sconzo, who owns the barn, it's a historic barn. It's beautiful. I mean, it's beyond. I mean, you've been there lots of times.
It's an event.
It's an event. It really is.
And again, I keep saying that I've been there, but it's true. You'd have to see it. First, you have to see the barn, the setting that it's in, then the way they set up the artwork inside the barn. And boy, you just can spend hours roaming around and looking at all this. It's over 200 pieces of art. And all the money that's raised for the association goes back into this fund to help preserve this land, conserve this land.
It goes into helping all it takes to conserve land. So, and it really helps us, it enables us to work with the farm families. To date, we've protected 101 farms in Washington and Rensselaer County, 16,000 acres.
Wow.
But our goal is to protect another 8,400 acres, another 45 farms. By 2020. So we've got our work cut out for us, and of course that takes a tremendous amount of support from the community to enable us to do that.
You don't want to take anything away from development, but quite honestly, preserving these farms is development. And that at $1,500 an acre, I think you were telling me, you do the math. If you're talking about farms that are 300-400 acre farms, that's quite an expenditure. Helps the farmers out because it helps them build equity in the one real cherishable asset they have, which is their land, but then of course it's preserving it for all the rest of us and our children and our grandchildren. The other event is a really cool event. Now this is your idea?
It's not just my idea, it's an idea that's come together with a lot of help here.
Okay, all right. But it's a farm-to-table dinner fundraiser.
Yes, down here at Sperry's Restaurant.
In Saratoga.
Yep. And we've got not all of our protected farms, but a good share of our protected farms are supplying the food. And Chef Fitz down there is going to prepare that, and that also is going to be a pretty big deal.
It is. Now that's on the 15th, which is a Thursday night, right?
That's right.
And the way they're setting it up, it's a real farm-to-table experience. And if anybody knows Chef Fitz, you realize he's quite a chef, and Sperry's is quite a restaurant. And they've got a beautiful space to hold this. So it's tables, and there'll be all kinds of delicacies there, right? Run down a few of them for me.
So we're going to have a carving station there with a steamship round of beef, and then there's also going to be some other stations with some rabbit and some chicken and some pheasant, and then the vegetables will be in trays, over on the side, and the bar will be open, so if anybody needs to have a cocktail, that's going to be available.
So you think there's some farms out there raising Jack Daniels? You think?
Well, that distillery law, we don't have any of that stuff this
After
week.
those long 15-hour days, John, I can see it right now.
There's no label on that bottle,
They make that hole in the barn back there. That's what that smoke is coming out of the roof. So that's October the 15th, Thursday at Sperry's. It starts at 6 o'clock. It's like $75 a head. Between these two fundraisers, you're hoping to raise quite a bit of money, right?
Quite a bit of money,
You need the money.
Yes, definitely need the money. It keeps us going. It keeps us able to protect another farm, and then another farm and another farm. So it's essential.
It's a win-win for everyone who lives in this region.
Right.
So, Teri, thank you very much for coming in. Thanks, John. And we've got
Thank
two
you.
events. This weekend, the 10th, 11th, and 12th is this amazing art fair gallery out. What road is that goes out?
Route 372.
Route 372 between Greenwich and Cambridge. I can't pronounce the name of the town.
And it's called Landscapes for Land's Sake.
Yes, okay. And you'll see the signs. You'll know exactly what it is. And then the following Thursday at Sperry's, this amazing farm-to-table event.
Yes.
Thank you both very much for coming in.
And you can go on our website to find out more.
Sure, and they'll go to our website.
Yes.
We'll
Okay,
make sure
great.
they know
Wonderful.
where to go. Okay?
Excellent.
Good. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, LookTVonline.com.